So we've put together our 4 pieces of our crown. So one will be the lining and one will be the outer of the hat. So here you see, we pull them out. And that will make up 1/2 of the hat at the top. And then we'll do the same for the lining. So now we're actually going to press open these seams so that when we put our hat together, it will lay flat on the head. So if we leave it like this and we just open this up, you'll see that our seam is still sort of sticking up to one side. So we're going to press these open so that they curve around the shape of the head and they're flat on the inside. Right, whilst our iron is warming up, we can put our brim pieces together. I'm going to just put them together. So we want our 2 right sides together, and we've still got a 1 centimetre seam allowance built into the pattern. So now that we've sewn our hat brim, so we've done our right sides together, down 1 stitch down here and 1 down here. So then once we open this up, this is the lining part of our brim. We're now going to press these seams open so that once it's all finished, it lays flat and doesn't have like a random bulge part way through. So we're just going to open up them seams, give it a nice press. If you've got a nice steam iron, a steam generator, that will help things to go really smooth for you. But it's fine if you haven't got one of those. Put that there. And we're just going to do the same for our lining piece. So we've done our seams on our lining piece and our main brim. And now we are going to bring in our trusty tailor's ham, because we've also done the crown pieces for the Sunhat. So they've been stitched along here, but now we need to press these seams open as well so that we don't get like a random bulge on the top of your head. So we are going to bring our trusty tailor's ham, and we're going to use this to allow us to press the seam around the brim, around the crown, sorry. So hopefully you can see what I'm doing. So this is where having that steam generator just really is super helpful. Should also probably take my glasses off because this is getting well steamy. As you can see, these seams are now coming out nice and flat. So we're going to do this for all of them. And then that means all of the individual components of our hat are pretty much together, and then we'll be making it up and assembling the rest of it and putting it together. Right, so now that we've pressed out our seams across the crown of the hat and the lining pieces, we're going to connect these two so that we'll make like a full hat, both on for the lining and for the main pieces. So what we're going to do is you just want to match up your 2 pieces. So you could say that this could be the front and this side will be the back. We'll connect that together with our right sides together. And then we will do the same for the other piece. Again, we've got a 1 centimetre seam allowance going all the way through. And we want to make sure we have a nice little back tack so that our stitches don't come undone. We're just going to follow that all the way around. As you're going along, you want to make sure that your 2 seams at the top match up so that you get that nice even match along the top of the hat once it's fully made up. Now, once you get to those 2 top pieces, you want to then just go and line up the other half of the hat and make sure that's all matching up nicely. If you do decide to pin it yourself, make sure that you put the pins going this way along so that the needle doesn't snap along the pins going long ways. So now that we've pressed our seam flat as well, that's connected the hat, you can see that we've got our lining piece here, which will sit on our head that way. And then we've got our outer main piece here. So we're now gonna pop our straps on. So I want the straps to be on the main cap rather than on the brim. So we're gonna just do a nice quick little stitch along here that it will get absorbed into the seam eventually, but just hold it together. We're gonna do that. So we wanna make sure that this strap is like bang on halfway between the two. So hopefully you can see that there. So we're gonna do that for both sides. And again, we're working on a 1 centimetre seam allowance. So we've done that, and now we just want to cut off those loose threads. So here is our lining with our straps ready to go. So now we're going to put some small slits along the brim, and that's going to attach to the hat. So the reason we want to do this is just to allow the fabric to get a bit more movement. So we're going to go about 0.5 centimetre slits all the way around. We want the fabric to have some more movement because we're about to sew on the round. So by just putting them slits in, it just allows the fabric to follow the curve much better. Whereas if we didn't, it would feel quite rigid and it wouldn't have that nice movement when you are wearing it. And then once we've done that, we will pin our hat into position against the brim, and then we'll do the same for the lining pieces. Gone for those two, so I'll get them two together here to hold them in place. So here you can see where the slits are coming really in real handy because it's allowing the fabric to sort of move around these focal points where we pin it together.